Prologue. Liam ran through the hallway, the Cybermen stomping behind him. Suddenly, the Doctor and Quinn appeared. "Quinn?" Liam said, not believing his eyes. "Liam!" Quinn said, wrapping his arms around Liam and pulling him in for a tight hug. "What are you doing here?" Liam asked. "Saving you," his partner explained. "Lovely moment," the Doctor said. "Small problem." The Cybermen stood, towering over the trio. "Right, hello, nice to see you all again," the Doctor said to the Cybermen, beginning to monologue. "Spare you the trouble of trying to figure out who I am. I'm the Doctor. I nearly crushed you guys, that clearly went well, but now I'd like to know something. What do the Cybermen want with 21st century Earth?" "To awaken," a Cyberman said. "Awaken?" the Doctor said, raising a curious eyebrow. "You're not already awake?" "Not all," the Cyberman said. The Doctor furrowed his eyebrows. He knew what was happening. He was sure of it. "Doctor, what's happening?" Quinn asked. "They are waking up," the Cyberman answered. "Who are?" Liam said, demanding further answers. "Their army," the Doctor said, his face scrunching with anger. The Cybermen commanded the three to walk, and so they did. They were marched through the corridor, passing door after door. Liam knew that Carla's desecrated corpse was marching around behind one of those doors, encased in a metal suit. The metal men led them to a cell and shoved them inside. The door slammed behind them. The Doctor rushed towards the furthest side of the cell, pushing against the metal walls like he's searching for something. "What are you doing?" Quinn asked, folding his arms against his chest. "I have a friend on the ship," the Doctor explained. "She's very clever, found a way to get inside the walls." "I met her," Liam interjected, sat down on the floor. "Did you?" the Doctor said, lighting up. "Where is she?" Liam turned his head, looking at the Cybermen that stood outside the cage, motionlessly keeping guard. "Oh," the Doctor said, walking across the prison, looking at the Cybermen with pitying eyes. "Are you her?" The Cyberman stood still. "I'm so sorry. Really, I am," the Doctor apologized. He searched the robot for the slightest movement, hoping that it was not Carla. "You abandoned her," the Cyberman responded. "She died, screaming." The Doctor's face twitched with emotion. The Cyberman was toying with him, trying to get a reaction out of him. "I'm sorry," the Doctor repeated. It's all my fault," Liam interrupted. No, of course it's not," Quinn said, trying to comfort his partner. "I was stupid. I touched that box. I ran from those soldiers. I got her caught, and now everyone on Earth is going to die, and it's all my fault," Liam said, his voice breaking. "No," the Doctor said, matter-of-factly. "What?" Liam said, looking up at the Doctor. "It wasn't your fault," the Doctor said, "and the Earth isn't going to end. Not now, not ever. Definitely not because of these lovely lot. You want to know why?" "Why?" Liam asked. "Because I still have this," the Doctor said, holding up the makeshift teleport. Quinn's eyes lit up. He turned to Liam. He pulled Liam up to his feet. The Doctor smiled, putting his hand out. Quinn grabbed a hold of the Doctor's hand. The Cyberman finally turned to the cell. "Stop!" it called out as the trio vanished with a flash of light. Chapter 1. The Shield. In a flash of light, the trio appeared on a street in London. The Cybermen stomped. Pedestrians ran, screaming in terror. "Right. Okay," the Doctor said, clapping his hands together. "What's the plan?" "Do they have any weaknesses?" Quinn asked. Brilliant question, the doctor smiled. Do either of you have any gold on you? A Cyberman shot a blast from a wrist-mounted gun, exploding a storefront in a ball of flames. Maybe we should plan away from the robots, Liam said, trying to pull Quinn further away from the chaos. No, I do all my best thinking while under the threat of death, the doctor said, balancing on his heels, filled with energy. Circling back. Gold. No gold, Quinn said. He works in a burger shop, so it's a bit out of our price range. Quinn pointed a teasing finger at Liam. Alright, maybe we could, the doctor said. Which is when, at that moment, several black vans pulled up. Unit vans. Soldiers swarmed out of the vans and began shooting at the Cybermen. The commander ushered the trio towards her. Quick, come on, the unit commander shouted. The doctor, Liam, and Quinn rushed past the rain of bullets and lasers towards the van. They climbed inside, followed by the commander. Okay, so, what's happening? The commander asked as the van sped away. Cybermen, robots, take over Earth, the doctor explained. You know, the usual Saturday. This is Unit, Liam said, holding on to Quinn as the van shook on the road. Right, you haven't met yet, the doctor exclaimed. How, I've barely met you, I'm the doctor. The doctor took Liam's hand and shook it, glancing at the symbol on the back. And you and me were? Liam asked. Swapping places, yes, the doctor said. Because of this. He turned Liam's hand over. TARDIS' own sort of security system. New thing I added in. Doesn't really seem to work well, doesn't swap everything. Like this, Liam said, taking the cylinder device out of his pocket. My Sonic! Oh, I missed it. The doctor took the Sonic out of Liam's hand and planted a kiss on it. That's the Sonic? Quinn asked. You aware of it? The doctor said, furrowing his eyebrows. Liam mentioned it earlier, after he touched the box, Quinn said. He also said something weird like Alon Z. Oh, the doctor muttered. Oh? Liam echoed. The doctor grabbed onto Liam's head and pulled him closer, looking into Liam's eyes. Strange side effects, the doctor rambled. The security was meant to swap our every atom, but it seems to have, well, placed some of my memories into your brain. So are my memories in your brain? Liam asked. He thought about all that him and Quinn had done, what he wanted to do. He hoped the doctor hadn't seen those thoughts. He gave a knowing but worried look to Quinn. Luckily not, the doctor joked. Simple fix, though. The doctor held his sonic screwdriver to the symbol on Liam's hand. He pressed a button, the bulb lighting up with a bright purple color. The symbol flaked off, like a temporary tattoo drifting off in the wind. The doctor smiled and let go of Liam's hand. Quinn looked out of the window and noticed something. Guys, Quinn said, as Liam and the doctor looked over. Quinn was pointing at the sky outside the window. They leaned closer, looking up at the sky. The cyber ship floated above the London skyline. They're launching a full-scale invasion, the commander shouted as the car careened to a stop, nearly flinging the three out of their seats. The doctor quietly cursed himself for not wearing a seatbelt. What's happened? Liam asked. The commander turned around, opening a panel to look out the front window. Why have we stopped? The commander asked, demanding answers from the driver. Just stay inside, the driver said. Why? What's happening? Liam repeated. The doctor got out of the car. Doctor! The commander shouted. Liam followed. Liam! Quinn shouted. Liam walked up to the doctor, an army of red armoured soldiers standing in front of the two, all of them pointing guns directly at Liam and the doctor. Sorry, may I ask what's happening? The doctor said, quietly analysing each and every soldier, noticing each and every heartbeat, each and every blink. He was also rather offended to have so many guns pointed at him. Are you with units? One of the soldiers shouted. The doctor noticed that the soldier was calm. They had clearly been trained well, not a bead of sweat, not a spark of a worried glance. Just perfectly still, like a robot. Something along those lines, the doctor joked. The doctor briefly wondered why he was analysing the soldiers so closely. Hadn't been something he'd done before. Tell your commander we'll take it from here, the soldier shouted. And who might we be? The doctor interrogated. That's classified, the soldier said without wasting a breath. I'm thinking of all the list of stupid soldiers in my head, and I can't place you, the doctor said. We've worked very hard to keep it that way, the soldier smiled, proud of his secret company's work. We're a unit, Liam said. We'll find out eventually. The doctor turned to look at Liam, noticing he was standing there. Liam flashed a look at the doctor as if to say, play along. Yeah, unit know everything in the end, the doctor said, playing along. We're the Ministry of War, the soldier revealed. The doctor shook his head. No, you're too early. We were formed by the Prime Minister, the soldier explained, especially after that laser that shot down that satellite. And if UNIT can have that sort of technology, so can we. The laser was UNIT, Liam said, turning to the doctor. I'll explain later, the doctor whispered. The soldier pulled out a walkie-talkie, holding it up to his mouth. He spoke into it. Activate Barrier 1. Then, immediately, a shimmer of green energy shot across the sky, forming a sort of hexagonal patterned dome over the skyline of London. What did you just do? The doctor shouted, staring into the uncaring eyes of the soldier. Protecting the mission, he said, smiling, proud of what he had just done. You've put us under a dome, like in the Simpsons movie, Liam shouted. Trapping them in, the soldier explained, and the ship out, the doctor argued. Quinn quickly left the car, rushing up to Liam's side. What's going on? Quinn asked. They've trapped us in here, Liam said. We've won, the soldier said. The doctor walked closer to the soldier, staring at him intensely. Is there even a brain in that stupid head of yours? The doctor said, with the same intensity, baring his teeth like an angered animal. You think they'll just give up because you've put up defenses? No, they'll turn their attention somewhere else. They'll kill the entire world. And how the hell would you know? The soldier stared back. Because I'm the doctor. I've saved the world so many times, and I will do whatever I need to in order to save it today, even if I have to tear you down to do it. Are you declaring war on us? The soldier asked, gripping tighter to his gun. If that's what it takes to save everyone on this planet, then yes. The soldier raised his hand. The soldiers all aimed at the doctor, Liam, and Quinn. The doctor put his arm in front of Liam and Quinn. It wouldn't protect them against gunfire, but it'd make them feel safer. At least, that's what the doctor believed. You got a plan? Liam asked. Quinn grabbed onto Liam's hand, holding it in his. Quinn always liked holding Liam's hands. They were soft and caring. But this time they felt different. Maybe it was the guns being pointed at them, but it felt like this could be the last time he'd feel Liam's hand in his. Of course I have a plan. I always have a plan. It's a brilliant plan, the doctor said, rather confident. Don't get shot. Brilliant plan, Quinn said sarcastically. Is that really your plan? Liam asked, looking into the doctor's eyes, praying that he was just telling a joke, a really bad joke, perhaps one of the worst jokes known to mankind. Obviously not, the doctor said, putting two fingers in his mouth and whistling. Unit soldiers marched out of the vans and alleyways, surrounding the Ministry of War soldiers. Like fighting fire with fire, Quinn muttered to himself. As the two groups of soldiers pointed their guns at each other, the doctor glanced towards Liam and Quinn. Wordlessly, he told them to run, and so they did. So what do we do now? Liam asked. The doctor thought for a moment. We need to get that shield down, he said. You going to invent a get that shield down device? Quinn joked. I could, the doctor said, a joke flying over his head. We just need to get to the TARDIS. The what? Liam raised an eyebrow. The blue police box. That's in our flat, Liam exclaimed. Great. How do we get there? Depends on where we are, Liam said as the trio ran into a crossroads. The buildings were tall, grand, and just slightly over-designed. The storefronts were entirely made of now shattered glass. Cars sat on the street, their drivers long since gone. Liam looked around and then up at one of the many street signs. Oxford Circus, he pointed out. Takes an hour to walk from here, Quinn said, defeated. The doctor quickly scanned around for anything that could help. He looked at the rooftops. He looked at the number of fleeing pedestrians. He looked at the rapidly approaching Cybermen. Then at the underground entrance. He smiled and grabbed onto Liam's hands. Liam held onto Quinn's, and together they all ran into the station. Chapter 2. Locked. It was packed. All the people who weren't running for their lives were hiding inside the station. The three pushed through the crowds, towards the banisters. The doctor pulled out his sonic screwdriver and pressed it against the yellow Oyster card reader. The sonic word. The gate's doors opened, allowing the three to pass through and run down the corridors, down the now-stopped escalators, passing the numerous advertisements that Liam couldn't help but look at. He had always wanted to take Quinn to see a show in the West End, yet he never had the time or the money. As Quinn would often say, he was overworked and underpaid by his job. Eventually, they reached a platform with a train waiting there. No driver in sight. Just our luck, Quinn said, sighing. Exactly. Just our luck, the doctor said, smiling. The doctor pressed the button on the door. They all stepped inside the underground train. What now? You going to drive the train yourself? Quinn said. The doctor smiled, rushing towards the front of the train. Liam laughed slightly. Do you even know how to drive a train? Quinn shouted after the doctor. When better to learn than the present, the doctor said, practically skipping towards the driver's door. The doctor opened the door and sat in the driver's seat, smiling like a child in a sweet shop. Liam and Quinn sat down in the empty tube. Quietest the tube has ever been, Liam joked. Yeah, Quinn said. Liam noticed something flash in Quinn's eyes, a look he hadn't seen in a while. Slowly, Liam slipped his hand into Quinn's. Liam knew that when Quinn had that look in his eyes, it was best not to pry, so he simply rested his head on his partner's shoulder. What station is it? The doctor shouted from the driver's room. Finsbury Park, Liam shouted back. The train's doors hissed close. The train began picking up speed, the wheels clattering against the tracks that probably should have been replaced ages ago. Do you think he's safe? Quinn asked. What? Liam said, turning to Quinn. The doctor. Do you think he's safe? What, driving a train? Yeah, I think he is. No, like, Quinn interrupted. He goes running into danger and we're following him. The train screeched as it sped around the corners, speeding past station after station. Quinn held Liam's hand tightly. Finsbury Park. It was where Liam and Quinn had called home for quite a while, and they were quite happy to, although they did wish that the army of football fans would calm down. But now, the football fans were the least of their concern, because now they were running through the familiar streets while avoiding armies of Cybermen. The Cybermen shot at shops that Liam and Quinn had once shopped at, or had never considered shopping at, causing their glass shop fronts to explode and send fragments of glass across the street. Liam led the doctor and Quinn through the streets, ducking and dodging every Cyberman, passing through back alleys that Liam wasn't sure led anywhere, but to Liam's luck, they did. Eventually, they made it to the estate building. They ran up the stairs, through the corridor, and into Liam and Quinn's flat. Liam slammed the door closed. He leaned against it, catching his breath. Where is it? The doctor asked. This way, Quinn said, leading the doctor through the living room, past the kitchen and into the spare bedroom. The doctor grinned. The majesty of his time-space machine stood tall and proud. He reached into his left pocket of his ruined jacket and pulled out a golden key. He put the key into the keyhole underneath the door handle. He turned the key and... the door didn't open. No, come on, he shouted. He tried again, shaking the door. The door didn't open. He slammed his hand against the door. What's happening? Quinn asked. I can't get in. She's rebuilding, the doctor said. I've regenerated. She'll feel left out if she doesn't. The doctor looked around the room, staring at all the boxes. He looked at the boxes of clothes and then down at his own, as if realizing for the first time how disheveled he looked, and how much the Edwardian style didn't suit him. Are these clothes free to a good home? The doctor asked, pointing over the boxes. Sure, Quinn said. I'll leave you be. Quinn closed the door and walked back into the living room. He sat down next to Liam on the couch, as they had done that morning. The news played on the TV. The newsreader spoke about the robots that ran rampage in the streets of London, about the shield and the spaceship. We've got to find a way to get their shield down, Liam said. Quinn turned to his partner. What? If we get their shield down, then we can... I don't know, Liam rambled. But we need to. I like the way you think, the doctor said. How do I look? Liam and Quinn turned to look at the doctor, who stood with his arms out. Instead of the battered old clothes he wore, he had changed into clothes that Liam immediately recognized as clothes he had once bought for himself but never wore. The doctor wore a white and grey striped t-shirt, a glittery waistcoat, a grey hoodie, bluish grey jeans, red high-top Converse shoes, and a navy blue coat that went down to just above the knee. The clothes fit the doctor perfectly, and he looked great in them. He seemed happier in the new clothes compared to the ragged suit he had on. The doctor joined Liam and Quinn on the sofa, practically jumping onto it. Right, okay, he said. Plan? Find the Ministry of War, Liam said. All right, the doctor said, standing up just as quickly as he sat down. Shall we? Quinn stared at the doctor. He'd basically just sat down and now they were supposed to be up and moving again. Whereas Liam was already standing. He looked at his still sitting boyfriend and tilted his head and frowned slightly. Quinn rolled his eyes and stood up. Right, the doctor exclaimed. Liam scrunched his face. That was the second time the doctor had said right in the last few seconds. Maybe it was his catchphrase. A rather terrible catchphrase, but Liam could think of worse catchphrases than right. Can I borrow your phone? The doctor said, turning to Liam. Liam reached into his pocket and handed his phone to the doctor. The doctor pressed his sonic against it. The screen lit up with a rapid color-shifting light before... Hello? The doctor said, holding the phone up to his ear. Could you come and pick us up? Thanks a bunch. Then he hung up and handed the phone back to Liam. What do you do? Liam asked. I called Unit, the doctor explained. I also gave you unlimited minutes, infinite data, and signal wherever and whenever you go, which was a mistake, but I'm overambitious. Liam looked over at Quinn and mouthed, wow, with a smile spread from cheek to cheek. Liam had no doubt in his mind that the doctor was impressive. There was a honk outside, and then several gunshots. Unit was here. That was quick, Liam noted. The doctor rushed out of the flat, followed by Liam and Quinn. Liam peeked over the balcony and saw the soldiers downstairs, this time feeling a sense of joy seeing them shooting at the Cybermen. The three went down the stairs, Liam ahead of the doctor and Quinn. Quinn grabbed onto the doctor and turned the doctor to look at him. Promise me, Quinn said. The doctor looked confused. Promise you what? Promise me you'll protect him, Quinn said, staring into the doctor's eyes. Quinn noticed a look in the doctor's eyes, one he had seen before in his own eyes. Loss. The doctor had lost a lot. An unfathomable amount. The doctor took a deep breath. I promise you. Good, Quinn said, bluntly. They continued down the stairs. Liam was already sitting in the van when the doctor and Quinn finally caught up. What took you so long? He asked. Oh, nothing much, the doctor said, climbing into the van. Quinn got on the other side of the van. Where to? The driver asked. Unit headquarters, the doctor instructed. The van quickly sped off. Chapter 3. They are the Cybermen. General McNamara and the commander stood in the main room of the HQ. Several soldiers stood around the room. In the middle of the room, several scientists tinkered with something. So? McNamara said, rather impatient. Do you have anything? We said it would take a while, a scientist said. So, kindly, wait. The elevator door slid open. The doctor stepped out first, followed by Liam and Quinn. And this, Liam, the doctor continued, is where all the magic happens. The doctor looked around the room. What's going on? One of the scientists looked up. Oh my god, is that... It's gotta be, right? The one and only, the doctor smiled. So, what do we have here? The doctor pushed through the scientist. They all stood in front of a table with the Cyberman laying on it. Is it safe? Liam asked. Yep, the doctor said, knocking on the Cyberman's head. Stone dead. It's not human, the scientist said. That's usually the Cybermen's MO. You're very good, the doctor said. What's your name? Neve. Neve Murphy, she said. Great work, Neve, the Doctor winked. So, these Cybermen aren't human, which means... anyone? They came from the ship, McNamara said. No, the only thing that came from that ship was me, the Doctor said, beginning to pace around the room. These Cybermen came from within Earth, so they've been waiting a while. The Doctor stopped, the cogs turning in his brain. But how did they get here? And why? The Doctor ran over to the large door at the back of the room. Everyone followed after him as he ran out onto the helipad and looked up into the sky. Why is the ship still here? The Doctor exclaimed. Because they're waiting, Liam said, tossing the idea out with no clue if he was right or not. Oh yes, the Doctor said. Waiting for the ship to come down, the Commander asked. No. They're waiting for the mission to be complete, the Doctor exclaimed. Because their army isn't big enough yet. Not for an invasion. There are 8.9 million people in London. 8.9 million potential Cybermen. But the Cybermen, they're killing people too, Neve said. I said potential Cybermen. Not everyone will be compatible, the Doctor ranted. And if you aren't compatible, you're dead. I'm missing something here. What am I missing? The Doctor ran up to Liam. Remember what the soldier said? The Doctor asked. Liam shook his head. He said, trapping them in. Yeah, the Cybermen, Liam said. The Doctor shook his head. No, think of it like this. The shield is a fence, and everyone in London is the cattle. The Ministry is working for the Cybermen, Liam asked, once again tossing out an idea. No, the Ministry are the Cybermen, the Doctor said, colder than before. The Doctor rushed back into the room. He started to type on the keyboard. Everyone followed back inside. What are you doing now? McNamara asked. Big shield goes up. Must have been a massive amount of energy. I'm talking huge, the Doctor said, continuing to type on the keyboard. Surely you must have thought to look. The General shook his head. Really? How did you get hired? The Doctor said. As the Doctor typed, all the screens in the room began to change, showing a map of London. He was scanning London. Everyone stared at the screens, waiting for something, anything to happen, waiting for the Doctor to find what he was looking for and save the day. Nothing. The Doctor put his head against the table. They must have encrypted the signal, he said, defeated. Is that a robot? Liam asked, standing in front of the Vlinks. Yeah, the Doctor said. That's the... His face lit up. The Vlinks! The Doctor ran up to Liam's side. He looked at the Vlinks. Can you track the signal? The Doctor asked. I do not have the power, the robot explained. I know, the Doctor sighed, and I'm very sorry. The Doctor took out his sonic screwdriver and pointed it at the Vlinks. And then he pressed the button. The Vlinks sparked, typing on the panels at the end of either of his hands, inhumanly fast. The screens continued scanning, every single street, every single building, 1,000 a second, until... Location found, the Vlink said. The robot's glowing eyes slowly faded, turning off as it slumped its head. The Doctor lowered his head. That's not possible, McNamara said, looking up at the screen. The Doctor turned and looked up. The screen read, Signal location, Unit Tower. Does this building have a basement? Liam asked. That's where I'd hide something like that. Liam, you are brilliant, the Doctor said, rushing over to the lift. Liam ran after him, and then stopped. He turned around, looking at Quinn. Come on, Liam said, holding his hand out. He's leading you right into the heart of danger, Quinn said. Come on, this is aliens, Liam pleaded. You love this kind of stuff. Not like this, Quinn replied. This is real. Liam looked Quinn in the eyes. Nothing I can say to change your mind? Quinn shook his head. Liam half-heartedly smiled and nodded. See you back at the flat? Liam asked. Yeah, Quinn smiled. Liam walked backwards, towards the lift. Hurry back, Quinn said, blowing a kiss. I always do, Liam responded, blowing one back. Quinn watched as Liam stepped into the lift with the doctor. He didn't take his eye off the lift until the doors had closed. Quinn's not coming, the doctor said as the lift began moving down towards the basement. No, he's staying up there, Liam said. He's a nice guy. Yeah, Liam smiled. The nicest. Silence filled the lift as it descended, down a seemingly endless amount of floors until... Ding! The basement. This is our stop, the doctor said. Liam prepared himself as the doors slid open. There could be anything on the other side. An army of soldiers waiting to shoot them dead. An army of Cybermen waiting to turn them into one of them. It made Liam's heart race, and he loved it. Chapter 4. Pulse. The doors opened fully, and there was nothing on the other side. No soldiers, no Cybermen, just a single wall. A single, unpainted, white plaster wall. An incredibly boring wall in the doctor's opinion. The doctor ran up to the wall. Well, Liam said, that's disappointing. Not disappointing, the doctor said, pressing against the wall. Distracting. The doctor ran his fingers against the wall. What are you doing? Liam asked. Looking for a hidden button. It'd be easy on a brick wall, but this is pure concrete, the doctor explained. And quite a lot of it too. The doctor knocked on the grey wall. So it's a dead end, Liam said. The deadest of ends, the king of dead ends, the doctor shouted. We need to be behind that wall, but we can't be behind the wall because the wall is there. The doctor punched the wall and then shouted, Ow! What are we going to do? Liam asked. The doctor began pushing against the wall, hoping that maybe if he pushed hard enough it would simply fall over. But, as tend to happen with walls, it did not simply fall over. The doctor began. No clue. We'll have to find another entrance, Liam suggested. The doctor turned to look at him. I mean, if I was a Cyberman, I wouldn't enter through the main entrance, Liam continued. Oh, the doctor said. The doctor looked at the control panel and hit the ground floor button. The lift began moving up. The doctor smiled at Liam, and Liam smiled back. You are brilliant, the doctor said. Have I told you how brilliant you are? You might have mentioned it, yeah, Liam laughed. The doctor and Liam ran out of the front entrance and round the side of the building, looking for any sort of alternative entrance. They started with the left side of the building. There was nothing. So they moved round to the back. Nothing once again. But on the right side of the building, they found a service hatch, Liam pointed. They ran up to it. Liam tried to pull it open, but it was locked. The doctor pointed his sonic at it and unlocked it. They pulled the metal doors open. Is there anything that thing can't do? Liam asked, gesturing to the doctor's device. Maybe a few things, the doctor joked. The service hatch led to a concrete staircase, one that the pair moved down into an equally concrete hallway. The hallway got darker the further away from the hatch they got, until they were in complete pitch black. Doctor, Liam whispered. It's okay, the doctor said, taking Liam's hand in his. Stay close. They continued to walk down the hallway. Liam could hear their footsteps echoing against the concrete. Liam could tell they were getting closer to something. He didn't know what, but he knew something was there. He put his hand out and was met with a coldness. A cold wall. Metal. Probably a door. Hopefully a door. There's a door, Liam whispered. The doctor used his sonic, the screwdriver's purple light lighting up the corridor. It was a door, one that now slid open with a clunk. The adjoined room was brighter and larger, much larger, like a warehouse. The doctor and Liam stood on a raised metal platform, looking over the room. They could see some people being led by the soldiers towards several booths in the middle of the room. Cyber conversion chambers. The soldiers shoved the civilians into the booths. Liam felt his stomach sink. A familiar whirring and scraping of metal began. And then the screaming. So much screaming. Liam looked over at the doctor and saw his face twitch with anger. The lights began to flicker. "The machine is here," the doctor said, bluntly. The doctor went down the metal stairs, Liam following closely behind. When they reached the bottom of the staircase, they rushed and hid against a wall. The doctor peeked around the corner. All of the chamber doors slid open, and several Cybermen stomped out in unison. The doctor looked around for the device. It was on the other side of the room, in a room higher than the chambers, which unfortunately was close to where the Ministry's soldiers were standing. "Cybermen!" the Ministry's soldier called out, his voice echoing throughout the chamber. The Cybermen all turned to look at him. "You are now Cybermen." The doctor and Liam quickly moved to behind one chamber to another. "You have one goal," the soldier continued. "Convert all that you can." Once again, the doctor and Liam moved to another chamber. "And those that you can't convert?" the soldier said. "Kill them." The doctor let out an angry sigh. The Cybermen began marching out of a different exit than the one Liam and the doctor came from. It looked like it led to the sewers. The doctor and Liam continued to sneak through the room, trying to keep out of sight of the soldiers. Chamber after chamber, closer and closer to the device when Liam accidentally knocked into a loose Cyberman arm, causing a loud clang. The doctor put his finger to his lip, telling Liam to be quiet. Liam scrunched his face, telling the doctor that he was being quiet. "Search the room," the soldier said. The doctor rolled his eyes, wondering why it always went this way. Liam slowly picked up the metal arm. "When I say run," the doctor whispered. The soldier moved round the corner. Liam lifted the arm above his head and whack! He hit the soldier over the head, knocking the soldier to the ground. "Run!" Liam said, grabbing the doctor's hand. "Get them!" a soldier shouted. They ran up another flight of metal stairs, the soldiers drawing nearer. The duo entered the room, shutting the door behind them. The doctor locked the door with his sonic. The device stood connected to a wall, several wires protruding out of it and up into the ceiling. The device also had a screen and a keyboard, both looking like they came from the 80s. "What now?" Liam said as the doctor ran over to the device. "Shut down the shield," the doctor said. "But that will let the ship in, and the Cybermen out. It's the only way. Either let them loose, or they kill everyone in London." The doctor rubbed his face. "What if we put out a different signal?" Liam said. "Like what?" the doctor asked. "An electromagnetic pulse?" Liam theorized. "A device as strong as this could fry the Cybermen completely." "And every single other electronic device in London," the doctor countered. "If only we had something with the code of the Cybermen in it, we could isolate it and take out just the Cybermen, but we..." "Doctor," Liam said, holding up the Cyberman arm, "we don't have anything like that," the doctor continued. "It's hopeless. They've won." "Doctor!" Liam shouted. The doctor turned to look at Liam, and then at the arm. "Oh. I knew this could come in handy," Liam said, laughing at his own joke. The doctor laughed too, taking the arm from Liam and reaching inside of it. He pulled out a computer chip. The doctor ran back to the device and began typing on the keyboard. "Shutting down the shield?" he said, pressing the enter button. The device whirred and glowed and sparked. "Shoot the door down," the soldier instructed. "You're too late, boys," Liam shouted as the bullets began whizzing through the wooden door. The doctor connected the computer chip to the device and continued typing. He looked at Liam. "Would you like to do the honors?" "I'd love to," Liam said, hitting the enter key. Again, the device whirred and glowed, and then it sent out a blue pulse, hitting the soldiers. These screamed and fell to the floor. The pulse continued to the sewers, hitting the Cybermen, sending them to the floor, and then through London, hitting Cyberman after Cyberman, every single one of them falling to the floor. The pulse even reached the Cyberman ship, not strong enough to fry them immediately. The pulse hit into one of the Cybermen. It stopped and looked around, as if confused. Then it looked down at its hands, and it made a sound that sounded almost like crying. "Now it's time to get that ship out of the sky," the doctor said, back in the room. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the teleport. "Take me with you," Liam said, moving towards the doctor. The doctor shook his head. "No. Go find Quinn." "No," Liam argued. "I'll wait here. Whatever you're planning, you come back, you hear?" The doctor smiled and nodded. He pushed the button on the teleport and vanished. The doctor appeared on the ship. He ran through the metal halls towards the flight deck. He grabbed onto the wheel and turned the ship around, pointing it at the sky. He flew it into space. A Cyberman marched into the room. "Doctor," it said. "Ah, nice of you to join me," the doctor said. "You have no way of stopping me, so let me tell you what I'm planning." The doctor gripped onto the wheel harder, pushing it forwards, the ship flying away from Earth faster. "I'm gonna fly us into the sun." "No," the Cyberman protested. "I already told you, you've no way of stopping me," the doctor said. "You killed my friend, Carla. She was amazing, and you killed her." "Doctor, it's me," the Cyberman said, an uncharacteristic hint of sadness in his voice. "I'm Carla." The doctor let go of the controls and turned around. "Oh, I'm so sorry." "Let me do it," Carla said. "You'll die," the doctor said. He was trying his best not to cry. "I'm already dead," Carla said. "Go live your life." "I'm so sorry," the doctor repeated. "Go," Carla said, grabbing onto the controls. The doctor nodded. "Thank you," he said, before disappearing once again. Carla pushed the controls as far as they could go, sending their ship speeding towards the sun. A tear ran down Carla's metal face. Chapter 5: The Journey of a Lifetime. The doctor and Liam sat inside a unit van, heading back towards Liam's flat. "She saved everyone," Liam said. The doctor nodded. "Good on her," Liam said. They sat in silence for a second. "So, what now?" Liam asked. "Well," the doctor reached into his pocket. The TARDIS key was glowing. "I'll be heading off. Won't be in your hair any longer." "By yourself?" Liam asked. "I'm dangerous, Liam," the doctor explained. "You saw it today. I got someone killed. It's better if I just go." Liam nodded. Liam opened the door to his flat. Quinn stood up. "You're back," Quinn said, running to Liam and wrapping his arms around him. The doctor squeezed through, heading towards the spare room. "Come on," Liam said, pulling Quinn after the doctor. The doctor slid his key into the TARDIS's keyhole. He turned to look at Liam. "Do you want to have a look inside?" the doctor asked. "Absolutely," Liam smiled. The doctor pushed the door open. Liam stepped inside. It was like stepping into a different world. It was impossibly big inside. The room was roundish, with the walls a bright white, with circular lights in them. In the middle of the room was a hexagonal control panel, with a number of buttons and levers and switches and thingamabobs and gizmos connected to it. A column of purple glass reached into the ceiling, which curved to meet the column. Symbols were etched into the ceiling. Liam laughed as he ran around the space. The doctor stood in the spare room with Quinn. "You're welcome in too," he said to Liam's partner. Quinn shook his head. "I've had enough aliens for one day." The doctor nodded. "But," Quinn said, "you need him. And he needs you." "Quinn, I know. Just bring him back to me," Quinn said. "And keep him safe. Like you promised." "Yeah," the doctor agreed. The doctor stepped into the TARDIS. "It's bigger on the inside," Liam smiled. "Yeah. And it's beautiful," the doctor said. looking around his new home. He crossed his arms and leant against the handrail. Liam? Liam turned to look at the doctor. You know what I was saying about travelling alone? The doctor continued. Yeah, Liam nodded, a sense of disappointment in his voice. Right, yeah. Would you like to come with me? The doctor asked. Liam smiled. All of time and space, anything that ever happened or ever could happen. We can go see it, the doctor said. So, what do you say? Absolutely, Liam said, jumping for joy. I'd love to. Brilliant, the doctor smiled. Can I just say goodbye quickly? Liam asked. Go ahead. Liam ran out of the TARDIS, back into the spare room. He ran up to Quinn and hugged him. I know, Quinn interrupted. Go on. I love you, Liam said, kissing Quinn on the lips. Liam ran back to the TARDIS, turning around to wave at Quinn. Hurry back, Quinn said, blowing a kiss. I always do, Liam responded, blowing one back. Liam closed the door and ran up to the doctor, who was now standing at the controls. Where to first? The doctor asked. Dinner with Cleopatra? Or maybe the year 7,000,000,003? Anywhere, Liam smiled. Alright, the doctor said, flicking levers and pressing buttons. Destination anywhere. The doctor pulled a big lever. The TARDIS began dematerializing, lights on the ceiling spinning. The doctor smiled at Liam, and Liam smiled back. Quinn stood in the spare room as the TARDIS vanished, the noise slowly disappearing, leaving Quinn alone in silence. He took a deep breath and left the spare room, closing the door.